From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Fairbanks police have arrested suspects in a Monday night shooting. Good evening, I'm Daryl Clark.
And I'm Stephanie Woodard. Officers responded to Fairbanks Memorial Hospital that evening after a man who had been shot in the head and chest walked into the emergency room. The victim reportedly said that he'd been shot during a transaction involving the sale of marijuana at the Hamilton Acres snow dump. Now, Thursday evening, detectives arrested 20-year-old Timothy Couchy and 19-year-old Joshua Ramos on charges of attempted murder and robbery. They're shown on your screen. Anyone with information about the incident should contact Detective Avery Thompson at 450-6550.
He was baited to a secluded area, and he was set up to distribute a small amount of marijuana. When he arrived on the scene, or rather at the area to distribute the drugs, numerous individuals stepped out of the vehicle and began firing at him, and he sustained the numerous gunshot wounds at that time.
And we have breaking news to report. Just before news time, investigators confirmed that a third suspect, previously shown on your screen, had been arrested. That was 18-year-old Katie Muchler. She's charged with attempted murder and armed robbery. She'll be arraigned tomorrow with the other two suspects.
After nearly a month, the search for a man who went missing on the Chena River is being called off. The organized search effort by friends, family, and community members for 30-year-old Tyler Cover will be suspended as of this afternoon. Cover went missing on August 2nd after he and another man jumped from the Centennial Footbridge downtown in the river. Though his friend was able to swim to shore, he never surfaced. Village public safety officers aided in the search for 11 days, and then community members helped for over 2 weeks with boats and divers. Today, family gathered at the river to help pack up their camp, but they say they will never give up hope or stop looking for Tyler.
We've come to the agreement that we are calling off the search, the organized part of the search.
It's unimaginable what the family, especially the parents and the grandmother and one more grandma, Linda, and his brothers and sister is going through.
We're not giving up. We will never give up. Whether it be we're looking at the river tomorrow or in a couple of years, we'll always be looking for Tyler for closure.
There will be a closing prayer and remembrance held at the Chena Recreational Area near University Avenue this evening beginning at 7 p.m. It is open to everyone who wants to attend.
The Fairbanks North Star Borough School Board has voted to seek just under $70,000 in damages from First Student Incorporated for late and canceled bus routes. Ryan Grimes has the story.
The Fairbanks Board of Education began their special session by hearing outside testimony from residents about student transportation. Many parents spoke about the long wait times and interruptions in their places of work to drive their kids to school.
If they don't show up, he panics, doesn't know what to do, if he should walk back home, then walk to school, and we work. So I just wish they'd come up with more people.
And the dispatch person basically told me that the route was canceled and that it was my responsibility to get my child back and forth to school.
Current and former bus drivers also expressed their concerns pulling double duty to make up for more than 30 missing driving positions at First Student.
They give us unrealistic times.
The body was particularly interested in what former First Student Assistant Location Manager Rita Hazelton had to say about her previous employer.
If they're not going to impose liquid damages, they are able to double up on routes. They're able to not do routes, cancel routes, and it's no financial consequences. As a matter of fact, it makes more money to First Student at the beginning of the year.
I think the board really had no choice but to say, you know, we need to invoke the provisions of the contract that allow us to say that's unacceptable, can't occur, shouldn't occur this year, can't occur in the future.
We really have an obligation to uphold the contract and the rights that are laid out in the contract.
This is Ryan Grimes reporting.
When we come back on this Friday broadcast, interior firefighters will be on the main streets tomorrow, rekindling an old tradition of generating donations for muscular dystrophy.
Also, it's the last installment of our gardening tips series. Tonight we'll show you how to get rid of those pesky, oh goodness, voles. Ugh, stay tuned, you'll see the mice.
And welcome back. A judge has rejected a request by state lawmakers to temporarily block Governor Bill Walker from expanding Medicaid in Alaska. Superior Court Judge Frank Pfiffner denied a request by the Alaska Legislative Council to bar Walker from implementing Medicaid expansion until the merits of the council's case challenging Walker's authority to expand Medicaid on his own are decided. Walker announced plans to accept federal funds to expand Medicaid coverage for thousands of lower-income Alaskans after legislators tabled his expansion legislation for further review. Pfiffner said unless another court says otherwise, Walker can go ahead with his plans.
This Saturday will be the Fill the Boot campaign for interior firefighters seeking donations for the Muscular Dystrophy Association of Alaska. Firefighters will be roaming the streets of Fairbanks and North Pole all day with boots for drivers to drop contributions into. The fundraiser will help support the research and treatment of over 40 muscle and nerve diseases suffered by people living in the state of Alaska. Now, since 2008, the event has raised over $200,000 for the MDA. Last year, the Fill the Boot campaign raised $30,000. Campaign coordinator Kyle Green says he hopes the event will do just as well this year.
So Saturday, you'll see us out there starting at 11 a.m. At those intersections, and we'll be wrapping things up about 4 p.m. And you'll see us out there. If you see us holding the boots, drop what you can in, and we'll give you that sticker that everyone covets that day. So.
The chart-topping a cappella group Home Free was in town for a performance last night. The season 4 winners of the Sing-Off stopped by the Herring Auditorium to belt out a number of covers and original songs. The group is on the Alaska leg of their summer tour and will be headed to Palmer next week for the state fair. Home Free is made up of 5 vocalists from Minnesota. They reached the #1 spot on iTunes country charts with their debut album, Crazy Life. A wide range of pitch levels are represented in the quintet, which even has a beatboxer. This is the second time the vocalists have made their way to the last frontier, but the first trip the group has made to the Golden Heart City.
We have a lot of Alaska fans, which is kind of nice, and particularly up here in Fairbanks, which we haven't been to yet, so we're excited to be able to bring our show up here to Fairbanks. And we just love Alaska so much in general. This year we're spending more time up here, and we actually brought wives and girlfriends this time. That's how much we love it here.
All right, it's time once again for our gardening tips segment, and it will be the final one for this summer. Tonight, how to get rid of very annoying pests.
Hello everyone, I'm Darcy Echeverry with the UAF Cooperative Extension Service. I'm here today on our last gardening tips of the season to talk with you about vole control. Voles are small rodents that have been abundant in the Fairbanks area this year. I've received a lot of calls from clients who've seen more voles in their gardens than they've ever seen in the past. These small rodents like to feed on a wide variety of plants. They like to eat seeds and bark and bulbs of our prized perennials. And the best way to keep their population size down, if they've already gotten established, is to trap them. And you can use mouse traps that you buy at the store and either bait them or not bait them. If you choose not to bait them, you can set them in the runways or near entrances to their holes in the ground where they spend the days. If you do choose to bait, you can bait with peanut butter or oatmeal or apple chunks, something similar, and place them in areas around your garden or lawn where you've seen them in the past. In the winter time, when we're getting ready to put our gardens to bed, make sure that any young trees are protected from voles by putting wraps around the base of the tree. That'll prevent the voles from chewing on the trunk of the tree, and which would cause girdling and possibly death of the tree. Well, thank you all for listening to Gardening Tips over the summer. I want to thank our sponsors and KTVF for bringing you this program. If you guys have any questions about growing things or garden or home pests, please stop by the Cooperative Extension Service office and we'll help you out.
Gardening Tips, brought to you by Fairbanks Stump Grinders and by Midnight Sun Family Medicine.
Is it over?
She's genuinely scared. It's wonderful. Oh, that wasn't bad.
I cannot watch that.
Come on, they're good eating. All right.
Ugh.
Joe Cook is up next with sports, and he'll have the schedule for the Ice Dogs training camp.
Also, there will be a fight for a course this weekend in the interior.
Find out all about it and more after the break. Vole.
Welcome back, Interior Alaska. It's finally Friday. Joe Cook here with your local sportscast. The interior racing season could have ended this weekend, but thanks to the recent weather, it's actually been extended. After canceling practice this week, the North Pole Speedway was slated to have their season finale last night, but they will have their final races of the season next Thursday night. The GFRA canceled races tonight due to wet and muddy conditions on the track and the pit areas at the Mitchell Raceway. Crews will be working through the night to try to have the dirt track ready for Saturday races, which are scheduled for 2 p.m. The Fairbanks Ice Dogs start their 2015 training camp this weekend. Here's the schedule. The Dogs will have ice sessions starting at 9 a.m. Sunday through Friday. This Sunday, the first scrimmage of camp will be at 5:30. Scrimmage number 2 is Tuesday evening at 5:30, and the final scrimmage will be Thursday at 5:30. Also, the Ice Dogs will have their golf scramble tournament to kick off training camp this Saturday at the Fairbanks Golf Course at 9 a.m. All the training camp activities are at the Big Dipper Ice Arena. We follow up now on a story we had yesterday on Janae Deloach-Sukup, reaching today's long jump finals in Beijing, China. Deloach of Allison High School fame finished 8th overall today in the women's long jump at the World Track and Field Championships. Out of her 6 jumps, her first attempt was her best, 21 feet 10 3/4 inches. USA teammate Tiana Bartolotta won gold in the event with a jump of 23 feet 5 1/4 inches. Jordan Clark, a Bartlett High School product, finished 13th in qualifying in the shot put event. The North Pole Patriots pulled off what may be considered an upset on Thursday night in volleyball. The Pats ended Monroe's 20-game regular season winning streak with a 4-set victory. After a split in the first 2 sets, North Pole won the third set 25-19 and held off the Rams in the fourth with a 25-23 victory. It was also Rick Swanky's first win as head coach for North Pole. McKinley Putnam was a force with 15 blocks and 17 kills. Lindsey Damel added 16 assists for the Pats. Kiana King and Clara Cox both had 10 kills for the Rams. North Pole is 1-2 on the year, and Monroe is now 1-1. In other volleyball games, West Valley was down 1-2, but came back to defeat Wasilla in 5 sets to win their season opener. Ruthie Hebert had 13 kills and 6 blocks, while Brianna Slater added 6 kills in the win. Lathrop swept Delta on the road for their first win of the season. The Huskies fall their season opener to the Mutes 17-25, 14-25, 23-25. In other high school sports, the West Valley Wolfpack are off to a good start in tennis. Thursday, the Wolfpack defeated Monroe 6-1. Jarrett Lees, he continues his career undefeated match streak by sweeping Monroe's Jacob Warrenhorst. The Wolfpack also earned wins in boys number 2 singles and boys doubles. Morgan Withers had the lone win for Monroe. Her first win of the year was 6-1, 6-0 over Grace Hawkins in the girls' number 2 singles match. This weekend is loaded with sports events and games, but this one's for the fight fans. Saturday's 4th annual Midnight Sun Mayhem Fight for a Cause smoker event will pit fighters of various disciplines against each other in the name of charity. Proceeds for this event will go to the Interior AIDS Association. Tickets are $10. You can pick them up at the local Frostbite Valley Tudo Gym, College Town Pizzeria, and the Alaska Cheesesteak Company. The fights begin at 6 p.m. at the Borealis Pavilion on the Tanana Valley State Fairgrounds. Fans will be in for a treat. There will be boxing, Thai boxing, Pride-style mixed martial arts bouts, and more.
We did last year, raised over $5,000 to donate to Interior AIDS Association. We have a lot of local businesses to sponsor it. All the fighters, they're fighting for free. They're doing it as a charity event. Tickets are $10. I have fighters from the peninsula traveling up to do it this year. I have people from Anchorage. I had a couple guys from Washington come up last year. It's a fun show with the Japanese rules we use and stuff, and good chance to get experience and for charity. And we're hoping to exceed last year's donation, and yeah, raise more than that.
So you have a fighting event and more for this weekend. The interior swimming season starts this weekend with the Lathrop Invitational. The second day of action starts Saturday at 11 a.m. at the Hamby Pool. Allison, they will host Valdez in football at 1 o'clock. And in the nightcap, Lathrop hosts Wasilla. And get your first look at the UAF volleyball team as they will have their blue and gold game this Saturday night at 7 p.m. For more weekend events, visit the sports page on Webster11.com. And that's it for sports at 6 o'clock. Come back tonight for high school football highlights and more in the Sports Nightcap. Mike Schultz is next with your full weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back into the Fbx Evening News for a Friday night. It wasn't too bad today. Mike Schultz with you once again talking about the weather, and for the most part we had just mainly cloudy skies, a few scattered showers here and there. Things are getting better, but getting much cooler too. We'll tell you about that in just a little bit. Our photograph tonight, a very nice sunset, a nice cloud structure, as you can see here, sent in by Nick Bailey. We've got some altocumulus and some stratocumulus and even some cirrostratus. We have all different types of different layers of the cloud there, and the sun shining through. It kind of tops it off very nicely. And again, thanks to Nick, and if you have a photograph to share, send it to photos@ktvf11.com. What's going on as far as temperatures? Today's high only 46 degrees. The low last night, 1 degree cooler at 45. The record high 82 degrees in 1949. The record low 26 in 1913. Your sunrise and sunset about 15 hours and 5 minutes of daylight. That's a loss of 7 minutes from yesterday. Our satellite and radar showing quite a bit of moisture moving over the southwest part of the state, but it's all being driven down to the southeast and away from the Fairbanks area. These are the last lingering showers we have moving through right now. As you zoom in on the area, you can see there's not a whole lot upstream, as we say in weather. There's just not a whole lot to the northwest of us, and after this moves through, things may get cool tonight. We'll have to keep an eye on that. What else is going on across the rest of the state? Well, the rains continue to fall over southeast Alaska, all associated with that frontal system moved through us the other day. Elsewhere, we have 61 degrees in Anchorage, mostly sunny skies. Some showers around Kodiak, 63, Cold Bay, cloudy, and 55. Up and down the west coast, anywhere from clear to partly cloudy skies, from Bethel to Nome. Bethel even cooler than Nome. How about that? Barrow, 37 degrees, cloudy skies, and partly cloudy skies at Fort Yukon, with 46 for their high there. Lower 48 weather, hot temperatures once again moving back in across much of the western and central sections of the country. 94 degrees at Salt Lake City. Again, 100-degree temperature readings for Las Vegas and Phoenix. A little shower activity moving across the Pacific Northwest. That's good. They need that in the worst way. A little bit of partly cloudy skies at Minneapolis. Another hot day in Dallas, 97 degrees there. Over the eastern half of the country, it looks like some showers over the Florida Peninsula and up and down the northeast. Once again, temperatures in the low 80s. On our satellite and radar, one little splotch of moisture moving through, helping to bring some showers around the Chicago area. That's moving pretty rapidly. More showers over the southeast. Clearing skies across the Central Plains. For good reason, there's a high pressure building in, but more moisture returning over the Pacific Northwest, and they need that in the worst way. Now they're looking at a soaking rain tomorrow over much of the northwest part of the country. That will help firefighters a little bit, but near record heat temperatures once again moving in across the Central Plains, because look at this jet stream. I haven't seen a jet stream moving that far north in a long time. That is really a huge bubble of high pressure. That's why 95 to 100-degree temperatures are expected over much of the deep south, with more rain across the Pacific Northwest, and maybe tropical storm moving into Florida by Monday. That's Tropical Storm Erica. Well, back to Alaska for tomorrow. Scattered showers for Barrow, mostly cloudy skies for Nome, and showers expected for Fort Yukon. Here in the interior, we're looking at scattered showers with a flood advisory. We'll tell you about that later on for the Fairbanks area. Mixed showers for Healy and scattered showers for Delta Junction. Over southeast Alaska, rain becomes showers in Juneau with wind and rain for Ketchikan. And over the southwest part of the state, looking at chance of rain for Cold Bay, showers for Kodiak, and rain is likely for Bethel. And over the south central regions, Anchorage Bowl looking pretty good. Partly cloudy skies for Homer and Anchorage, with just mostly cloudy skies expected in Valdez. Once again, time for our kids' weather. And we are looking at one more weather fact this week before we get back to the kids. The weather fact is in 1988, Brandon, Vermont had thunderstorms that brought tennis ball size hail and 80-mile-per-hour winds. And as always, thanks to Mount McKinley Bank, celebrating 50 years of service to the Fairbanks area. And again, next week we'll be visiting with the kids from Anderson Elementary School at Eielson Air Force Base. One note to pass along, there's a flood advisory until 2 p.m. tomorrow on the Cheetah River, upstream of Moose Creek Dam. The river is expected to crest late tonight with some minor flooding possible, along with some floating debris. But the good news is all the rains have stopped, so that should come down pretty fast. Our forecast for the remainder of the night, cloudy skies, widely scattered showers, 41 degrees the overnight low. Tomorrow's forecast, 48. Another day with cool temperatures and showers, but less winds. And the extended forecast, look at those overnight lows. Once again, 37, 36, 37, and then slowly warming back up again toward the end of the 5-day period. And the shower activity will be pretty much limited to only Sunday, the way it looks right now.
All right, thank you, Mike. And we have run out of time from all of us here at the News Center. Have a great night.
Good night.